Welcome back to part two of last week's episode. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
how to even handle it or how to go about it,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, because I was looking at watching this podcast. It's not about like health, but they talk about a lot about mental health.
Mhm.
And they talk about relationships and mental health. And basically she was saying that she has been in through so many relationships and she kind of went through like hard stuff in these relationships, and she's like, oh, I'll deal with that on my own. Like, I'll deal with that on my own. And then into she got to like a good relationship, and she snapped at him and then like push him, and then she's like, oh my god, like what did I do, like what's going on with me? And then that's when she's like, you don't take care of all your traumas or all your all your issues, that's
They
gonna bleed into your real life. And that's just, it's gonna be like a kind of like a, instead of waiting for it for that to like come out, take care of your issues and your traumas and everything before it just gets ugly.
Yeah. And to add on to that, what you said and how it really relates to me. Again, I'm currently seeing how like my past traumas occur in like my life. You know how they say like everyone has a child in them that, screaming for help, and when something happens, that inner child comes out and like you react a certain way. You may be reacting in anger and crying. It's like, why? But why are you reacting that way?
Hmm.
So for me, again, I said that I'm not the most confident when it comes to like my clinical practice. Like, it, I feel like I can be better. But again, I know like I don't know everything, and I'm there to learn. But again, it's a constant battle that I'm having with myself, like internally. So even like the most basic thing, like my clinical instructor, it's midterm. So midterms we have evaluation. So she'll give me feedback, and even with the feedback, like my heart, like I take it as like, oh, I'm not doing my best.
Hmm.
But then again, she's just giving me feedback of like how to improve. But with me, because I'm not confident in what I'm doing, like I'm taking it as like, oh, see, like what I was thinking, it was right because now my clinical instructor is saying like F, Y, and Z.
even though you need that feedback to get better, your mind still reminds you that you're not good.
Yeah,
Eggs.
because that is constructive criticism. No, it's not to put you down.
Yes.
But she knows that, but
Yeah,
she's
but
just
it's
not
just,
skilled in her childhood traumas that she still is so hard on herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I even tell like my clinical instructor, she was like, oh, I can see that, you're confident. Confidence is not there. And I want that, I want more of that. She was like, last semester or whatever, she gave that same feedback. She was like, I want you to be more confident. Like you're meant to be here, but I want you to start speaking up more, contributing more. And then this past feedback that she gave me maybe like 4 days ago, she was like, oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's really hard to tell right here anyways.
yeah.
Okay. She was
Yeah.
like, you were doing good, but then I can see yourself, like I can see you getting back to that place where your confidence is not there. And me, I was like, dang.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you know what, so I see it's like a wave, like you go good, bad, good, like what contributes to that negative, like that the reemergence of that negative like self-talk, like what causes that?
I guess like a little bit of everything. Of course, everything starts with childhood. And like growing up in school. Like I said, I've always struggled in school. Um,
I feel you,
so I
same.
feel like that because I've always struggled in school, I always have to get like extra help with certain things.
So it's something you expect at this point
Hmm.
because it's been a pattern. Okay.
Yeah. And so even when am doing well, like in my head, I'm like, oh, it's not good enough. Or like if I do know something, it's like I need to know more. Like again, my clinical instructor is super strict, so I feel like when I do teach myself and to like learn something, she'll add something else on, and I'm like, I
So
don't
you feel
do
like
that.
you're always catching up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When I do feel like I understand something, she'll throw something else on top of it where it makes me feel like, oh dang, I don't actually know as much as I thought. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
So
you are you working with your therapist on this? Like
oh yeah.
on how to like, to just so you don't, I guess, so that's you're not so hard on yourself like saying like, oh, but it's not perfect enough. But like are you working on it?
Yes. Yeah, of course I am, but it's for me, it's something that's not going to change overnight because this
Right.
is something I've been dealing with all my life. I'm 31 years old. So it's not like a flip, but I do tell myself like to get out of that mindset. It's harder, it's easier said than done.
Honestly, it is easier said than done, but I can see it being really, really hard, especially in a stage like this where you're learning, like, you know what I mean? Like you're supposed to learn something new every day. So this is a part of the process, but it's hard when you have like that reasoning or the way you think. Like so it's normal, I think, for you to feel this way when there's something new to learn every day where you're like, damn, now this, damn, now this, damn, now this.
It's always something, but it's a part of the learning experience.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to keep telling myself, and not to compare myself to my peers. Because
I
that's
yeah.
another thing that will minimize like my confidence when I'm constantly comparing myself that to someone who I don't know their background. They
Yeah.
could have had like a different upbringing or something, but here go me, like I'm constantly comparing myself to classmates,
Yeah.
certain classmates. Um, but yeah, I am working on it in therapy.
So I remember, Linda, you've said in previous episodes how you were just having like kind of the high anxiety before going to clinicals or after clinicals because you have to do all this paperwork and all that. Are you now doing better? How is that going?
hmm So my anxiety about going into the clinic has decreased a lot. And I think that's more so I got adjusted to how my clinical instructor, like how she works. Like I told you, she says such a cute little lady. She's like, I'm all bark with no bite. So that kind of rings a bell in my head all the time. It's like, okay, her personality is very straightforward, but she means well. So my anxiety is not completely gone, but it's not as high. And then another part of me, I think because I'm over it, and that's something I'm working on in therapy. So because like I'm mentally like drained and over it, it's like I don't care. And that's in a sense a bad mindset set to have um when you just don't care about things anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, that kind of helped with my anxiety.
You're like, it's not good, but it's good.
Yeah, it's helping with my anxiety in the sense that I'm going into clinical and not super stressed because, like, I don't care anymore. I just want to graduate, but in the same breath, I do want to learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm excited for you because I feel like, you know yourself and you know that you have anxiety when it comes to, you know, not feeling like you're at your best. And I
Mhm.
feel like definitely a residency program will be very helpful in allowing you to feel like you're more competent in your skills. So I
Yeah,
think that's a really good idea.
and also it's good to know yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
also, I think I really need to find myself a mentor.
Yeah.
Like someone to kind of help guide me in a sense because I've been doing this on by myself. In a sense, like I do have a strong support team, but someone that's within my field who has done this for years on end to kind of help guide me and like, oh, I've been in your place before and I'm here now and I don't have the same doubts and that I had before. So I'm hoping I find myself a mentor. I keep saying I want to find a mentor, but I haven't put in the work to find one. I know my clinical instructor, she keeps speaking highly of this one lady who works at the sister clinic. She's like, you need to really get in contact with Dr. So and so. Like, she'll be a great mentor for you. She's also like a black lady. Like, she will be a great mentor. And I just started my peds rotation last week, and that lady she was referring to, like, she works at that clinic. So I finally got to meet her. It was so odd how I met her. I was like waiting outside of the room for my classmate to come in, because my classmate, she was like she was basically showing me around, so I can get used to that clinic. And then that was her last day. But anyways, I was waiting for her, and I was like just sitting, and the lady comes in. She's like, "Oh, hi, what is," she was like, "What school do you go to?" I'm like, "Oh, I go to blah 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 blah." And I asked her, I'm like, "Oh, what is your name?" She told me her name. I was like, "I've been meaning to talk to you." I was like, "Doctor so and so said that, you're like a great person to talk to." So I'm excited that I'm starting my Peds rotation there. And then her office is literally right next door.
That's perfect. I think that you need to take advantage of that moment. Like, there's
Mhm.
a reason why you were connected. So
Yes. Yeah. And
Yeah, and it's also
she's,
like good timing because you're about to be done, so she could like tell you like, oh, maybe you should do this, maybe you should that, maybe this works better, like give you that advice and that guidance that you need now that the program is almost done.
hmm so I'm excited.
and as first generation, like college students and people who have never really navigated like the field, it's
Mhm.
hard. What do like even me, like I don't even know what I'm doing, but I got into medical school. Great, now what?
Exactly. What's after this? And that, I feel like that causes even more stress and anxiety for us people who's, like, you're the first generation. Thankfully, like, I have an older brother who has been a great person who's guided me, who was able to help me with college applications and everything. But when you're the first in your family to do things, it's like you're literally doing this stuff blinded. Like, you are blind, and you're just going through the not going through the motions, but you're just going through it and hoping like you come out on the other end, because you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah, and then I feel like we are put through so much pressure. Like, well, I'm not gonna say we, but speaking for myself, I am put through a lot of pressure because it's like for me is everything is on me. Like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, but she's smart, but she could do it, and I'm like, no,
Oh
guys,
no, girl. Yeah, I got that too. Don't worry.
like, yeah, like I don't even know what I'm doing. And they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
but like, you're the nurse, like in Colombia, for example, you're the nurse now. Like, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? And I'm like, no, dude, like,
Literally.
you know. So it's put through a lot. It's a lot of like, yeah, pressure. And then like like my aunts have asked me, have you find a job? And I'm like, no. I
Yeah.
didn't find one, and I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Have you
you know, but I kind of want to, but I don't. So I
have
don't.
you have you started looking or not even?
I've looked like I basically one of my professors said that I just have to send her an email and she like help me with it, but I can't do that until Deb is placed.
Got it.
So yeah, it's just like it's a lot of pressure when you don't know the system, but you're going through it. So everybody thinks that you're an expert. Like my mom, she has to take classes for her as a teacher, and then she's like, "Can you help me?" And I'm like, "I don't know. This different system that I'm with. Like I could try,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That pressure is real, and that pressure adds on more stress and anxiety, because it's like you have all these people that who's putting their faith in you, like you're in a sense carrying your family, and you cannot fail. And because you have that in your mind, it's like, dang, like I should know this, I should be doing this. But then again, you're only human, because even me, I have that pressure too, where it's like I can't fail, because if I do, it's like, who do I have to like lean on? Besides like my siblings, like my brother and my sister and my amazing friends. But then again, it's like that's gonna be my life. I
Right.
can't always lean on someone. Like I have to have something for myself. Um and that's more pressure. It's
yeah,
stress.
I would say the same too, because I just feel like my family, I don't even want to say they're dysfunctional, but I definitely grew up in a dysfunctional household. And I'm the oldest, and I'm the first to go to college, and so I feel like there is a bit of pressure in that sense where they expect me to do it and do it right, and not mess up and have it perfect. But I'm not perfect. I'm human. But also because I'm the oldest, I think I've also gone to a point where I don't care what they think as well. because
Yes.
I've even if I were to mess up, I don't even think that I would feel pressure from them because I'm like, I already got this far. But yeah, it is a little bit of pressure, I would say too.
But yeah, and from it's like an internal pressure. You know,
Yeah,
Mhm.
my family they probably won't care, but for me, it's like I can't fail.
yeah.
And then that's another reason why I have that constant, like the tug of war battle within myself, and that whole thing about perfection. I'm still working on it. Where it's like you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But in my head, the way my brain has been working and surviving is like I have to get this stuff right.
I will say this, Linda. You are pretty perfect. You're not perfect, but you're pretty perfect. When I tell you her birthday party, I was like, damn.
You look so nice and so well
He had
planned.
it
Like
planned
you look relaxed.
T, like to the T. I was like, damn, how did she think of this? Damn, how did she think of that? Damn.
Funny girl.
But yeah, it's hard because it's hard to turn it off. Like sometimes
Yeah,
I really like, and it's kind of like a fight that I have. It's just like that voice. You just like shut up, like leave me alone.
Well, it'd be your biggest hater.
Yeah.
we're our biggest haters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. So Jasmine,
Yes.
I know that you have not been in therapy for a long, long, long time. Have you thought about like considering starting therapy now or sooner than later because you're about to start this new journey? You're gonna need it when you're in school, like something like somebody to help with your mental health.
100%. Like, there's no way I think I can do med school without therapy. Like, I feel like I've been really emotionally stable recently. Like,
Hmm.
this is the most relaxed, emotionally stable I've ever been in my life.
Hmm.
But I know that being in such a high pressure environment, such as medical school, is going to test me and it's going to test me really good. I know it. And
Hmm.
so I know without a doubt that I need to find a therapist for sure. Like, there's no way.
It's gonna help.
There's no way.
It's
I
gonna.
just remember like going to therapy, when I was younger and crying in therapy. I would just cry, 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 and then come out and feel like a lot better. So I do need it, and I'm gonna look for one. I really want to hopefully start before I start school.
Hmm.
Um, because I'm starting school early. I'm starting July 8th, but that's the early program. I want to at least have my therapist before I actually start July 29th.
Okay.
So
And
that's the
honestly, sorry, this episode will probably be released probably after you'll be starting, which is
Hmm.
great.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll be deep into your program when this episode is released. That's no, like my who.
Girl.
But you're one step closer to the finish line.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm really excited without a doubt. I know this is probably going to be the scariest thing I've ever done in my life besides have a child because I feel like that's scary.
Hmm.
Um, but I think this is probably going to be one of the scariest things I've ever done. So, we'll see.
Yeah. It'll just be something to add on. Like right now, that'll be the scariest thing you've done up to until like now.
It's weird because in the past, I'd be scared and not want to do something, but because I work so hard for this, I want to, like I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like I'm nervous, but I'm excited and I'm ready to tackle the challenge. Like
Yeah,
give me a week or two or maybe a month in school and then I might talk differently, but
that's
but
how it all started off.
yeah.
It's like that. You're super excited because you prayed for this moment, and at the same time you're nervous. But then again, it's like a surreal moment. When you're just like, yeah, you're more excited than nervous, if anything.
Right now, we'll see. Grab this moment. Let's hold on to this moment. Put it back to back. Me speaking about how excited I am to me crying in a few episodes.
Pretty much, and it's crazy to talk about crying, because I feel like every semester I'm crying. I feel like since I started school, this is not to say the most emotional I've been because in my past, I've been through some emotional moments. But I feel like now in this place of being in school, my emotion has been like a roller coaster. even now this semester, I feel like it's been hard to the point I'm even considering. I'm like, oh, should I get on like back on antidepressants?
Mm.
Then the other part of me is like, no, I don't need it, because I feel like the reason why I feel this way now is because I'm in school, and so I'm like, I have a little bit left to go, so maybe I can thug it out until then. And I was talking to one of my classmates about this, and she was like, yeah, that she had a conversation with one of her friends, and she asked like, oh, have you seen a difference in me since I started like my antidepressants? And the guy, he was like, no, honestly, I haven't seen a difference. The only time I seen a difference in your mood is when you had time off of school, when you were out of school for 2 weeks, like you were working out, you put more self time and care into yourself. And then so we came to the conclusion like, dang, school is what is mentally draining us right now.
Well, it is if you think about it. I forgot. I was watching I was watching Married to Medicine. It's a show I really like. It's about basically doctors who live in Atlanta, and one of the doctors was saying that she used to be really depressed, but the reason why she was really depressed was because she was always studying for pre-med. She was pre-med, right?
Hmm.
And she's always studying. So what did that mean? She was always in her room. Her room had no window, so she had no light. She had no light, no sun, no vitamin D, all of these missing things that you need for your body to be able to function well, to metabolize, to do what it needs to do. And if it's not doing that, your body's not gonna be okay. So like it's gonna affect your mental health. So when you're in school, you're always studying, you don't go outside. So like that's something like you have to balance it, or else, you're not gonna be able to be in a good mental state. So
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And it's good to put in that time for your own mental state. And school takes so much out of you. It's when you, speaking for myself and from people I do know also, it's like, yeah, when you take time for your mental health while you're in school, that like when you're in a program that's so demanding, it's like it's still in the back of your head. It's like you're taking time for yourself, but then you know that you should be at home studying and preparing for an exam. So it's in a sense that you're in a sense that you're not never just at peace, because school is in the back of your head. It's like, dang, I have an assignment to do. I have to study.
I was gonna ask you. I remember talking to you. You said that I don't know if it was like a break. You had a break or something like a break from school, and you said that maybe it was a break from clinicals, but you said that you were so happy. You said you were working out, you were eating good. You said you were pretty much like you saw a big change in your mental health and like your happiness. But once you went back, were you able to hold on to those um habits, or did you like fall back into that?
Um, the only habit that I feel like I held on to was working out at Orange Theory because I'm paying like $200 a month to go there. So I was like, I am not utilizing my Orange Theory classes. So that was the main thing that I was doing. I lied. I lied. I also started, in addition to like working out, I also started to tell myself to study, do my homework and everything during the week. So when Friday, Saturday, no, I guess Saturday and Sunday come, I have it for myself. Like I don't want to be doing homework on Sundays. I don't want to do homework on Saturdays. It's like make sure I have everything done so I can enjoy myself over the weekend. So that's how I kind of managed it. I lost my train of thought because I wanted to comment on something, but I forgot. But you guys can go, and when I think about it, I'll let you know.
Actually, and you said something that I want to basically like run back to. I remember, Kathy, you had asked me what were steps that I wanted to include into my, I think, medical school journey or career that
Mhm.
would help me with my mental health. One thing that I really want to incorporate, um, and I'm gonna try my best, but I don't know how it's gonna go, is, I have a friend who's in medical school as well. She'll be one grade above me, so she'll be my Linda. So you guys know her. She does Monday through Friday. Basically, I think it's like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or something. I want to work on the I want to work schoolwork on the weekdays, and I want to have the weekend to myself
So,
as well, because I know me. I'm gonna take every moment I can to study. Like
Hmm.
that's me. When I started the post back, I was studying 13, 14 hours a day, never left the house. I had a break, the one of the worst breakdowns I ever had. I just started crying for like I don't want that. I don't want that. I
Yeah.
don't want that. Medical school is not, it's not like it's going to be 1 year or a few months. It's going to be 4 years. So I need to build those habits early or else I'm going to be FUCKED.
Yeah. 4
But
years. And then on top of the 4 years, you have to go to
hey,
residency.
hey, hey, we're not talking about that right now.
I'm like, residency, ew.
It's so funny because every time Jasmine talks about like like med school, she's like, "Yeah, I only have 4 years." I was like, "Girl, 4 years plus another 4 years."
Because I can't think that way. I
Can Yeah,
can't think that way. That's my baby step thing, you know? Leave me
yeah.
alone.
For her own mental health, it's good
Yeah.
to baby steps.
I
And
can only think of now. So,
exactly. And to answer your question from the other question you asked, I do find myself getting back into that, not, I don't want to say dark place because it's not that dark. It has the dim place. It's like, there's a little light still
there's
there.
a little bit of shade.
Yeah, because I just feel like recently for the past, I don't know, month or so, I just been like overwhelmed with everything. Like I have clinical Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then Thursdays I have class. It's like in person or on Zoom, and then we have to record for the podcast on Thursday, Friday. It's like I'm in a sense becoming burnt out where it's like it's a lot, and I'm over it. Like I'm over school. I'm getting becoming over the podcast. And I say that in the most positive way. It's like it's just become a lot where it's like I don't feel like recording because I'm so tired.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a place that I'm falling into right now, but it's more like it's not damaging me physically, it's damaging me mentally because I just been going through Monday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, and I'm just getting to a place that I'm just like I am over, like I want to disappear, I want to leave, I'm done.
Yeah.
But that's because like when you guys were talking or when Linda was talking, saying how she's been doing well, like just doing her homework like Monday through Friday, and then giving herself like the weekends. And I was like, damn, I'm jealous. That's nice. But then, yeah, it's just like it just drains you. Like you don't even sometimes you don't even notice until you're like deep in it.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I can only imagine like being a mom, you it's not just you. It's you're literally your body and a little human, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and it's just like all these extra stuff that that I do, and it's just like I'm like I need to go out. I need to do something before I lose it
Yeah.
yeah,
because it's draining.
Yeah, and to add on to you, Kathy, I know you're going through it over there because when Thiago was in daycare, because listeners, as you know, like Thiago's not in daycare. Once you guys went to Colombia, they basically said he can't attend the daycare anymore. So you're literally 24/7 with Thiago and on top of school because when he was in daycare, a part of your mental health was like us studying together and us going to the gym. So while he was at his daycare, Kathy and I would always be together working out and studying. That was like
Hmm.
our
Like routine.
our, our routine. But it's like now it's like you're just stuck in a house trying to find activities to do with Thiago and then also managing your school stuff.
Yeah, and then like I I noticed that I have been putting myself last.
Hmm.
Like for example, this whole week it was like his swimming classes. So I was doing therapy at 6 a.m. so he will be asleep, so I could do or work out because that's the only time that I have for myself.
yeah,
And then the rest of the day is just me and him together until 9 p.m. And then after that, try to do homework. And then I'm like falling asleep trying to read. And then that's why I'm like, okay, I'm going to do. So I do little by little until it gets to Sunday. And I know I have to be done. And then
yeah,
I'm stuck in the house again on a chair, looking at a screen and try to finish my assignment and then try to edit and then try to do this and then try to do that. And I'm just like, I don't like it's hard. And then um, I feel like I've been hard on myself, and then um especially like I feel like with the editing, because I try to be perfect, because I'm like I feel like and then like I was telling Jasmine, I was like, I think I have like a hearing disability because sometimes I don't hear certain stuff.
Girl, no, girl, you and me have a hearing disability.
Yeah, y'all both have hearing
Yours
disabilities.
is just perfect. It's like freaking Wonder Woman over here.
Right. And then so sometimes when like obviously you guys give me feedback and I'm just like, oh my god, why didn't I catch it? And then I just it's like I've been hard on me. But then either Linda or Jasmine text me like, okay, like it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's just been like, I don't want to say like I'm unhappy, but I am.
Yeah.
Like because I haven't been able to like interact.
You haven't been able to interact. You haven't been able to have time for yourself, and you haven't been able to decompress. Like I can only imagine, because girl, I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews and stuff, and like I'm a Nina and whatever, and like they'll be with me for like 2 hours. I'm like, I'm done. I'm fucking done for 2 hours. So I can only imagine like 9 hours. Like that's a lot. So don't be hard on yourself. You are doing the best you can do. Probably I wouldn't even be able to do what you can do. Okay. Don't be hard on yourself.
Exactly.
You're kicking ass right now. Cause no way, no way, Jose. I couldn't.
And this stuff is not easy. Like you're in school, you're in a master's program, you have a young child. Like it's gonna be challenging. It's don't you're doing what you can, you're doing great.
Some
He's
people,
well fed.
some people don't even. Linda.
Yes, he's happy, well fed, well dressed, and you're well right now you're not the happiest because of your circumstances, but like you're doing great.
Yeah. And it'll get better. Like he's getting older. He's gonna be more independent. This is probably the hardest part, I think I've heard this stage in kids' life is like the stage where you have to give him the most attention and the most
Yeah.
time, things like that. So like he's getting older, you're almost done with the program. You're way closer than I am, okay? So you're gonna get a job, you're gonna have a lot of interaction. Once you get that job, you're gonna be over it. You're gonna be like, I want to go back to my kid. So
Yeah, so don't beat yourself up because
no,
that's why I made that comment because I know right now your life is completely different, and it's crazy how such a small change can impact everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of yeah, because like I said, we were together all the time, and then like now it's we the only time we see each other is when we record in person,
yeah,
and
Yes.
a lot of the times I would tell Kathy, I was like, you don't even have to like come over. We can do Riverside. And she's like, no, I really want to go because that's the only social interactions I get with adults.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even sometimes I catch myself like talking like I'm about to start baby talking or doing like something weird, and I'm like, why am I gonna do this? Like I'm with adults right now.
Girl, I do that to my dogs, okay? It's my little baby. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Funny. But anyways, it all really comes down to trying to balance, and it's easy to say but hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
You
It's a struggle. This is not fun. That's why people are like, oh,
That's why people don't do it. That's why people don't do it.
yeah.
That's
It's
what literally, like, that's why people don't do it. It's so easy to not do it.
and talk
First
about
off,
oh,
first off, you don't go in debt. Second off, you don't get these white hairs that I'm over here getting because I already have 3. Believe it or not, I haven't even started school.
girls. That- I'm like, I'm sorry, Jasmine. I'm happy I'm almost done. Kathy, you right behind me. Jasmine, we'll be praying for you.
We're gonna be pushing through it the
I mean, the
whole
one
middle school.
good thing, honestly, the one good thing is I really do enjoy school. Like, I love school. I love learning. I like. I don't like working. Like, I like school better. I like learning. I mean, so I personally am excited, but I feel like I'm gonna be eating my words in about a month or so.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm just trying to keep a positive mindset here.
Well, school is fun. It's exciting when you're finally during a career that you want to do.
Mhm.
Like when you're finally learning stuff that you know, like that's what you want to do career wise, that's what makes it fun.
No, completely. I actually took my grandma to the doctor the other day.
And
Um, and like I was looking through her labs and the NP was explaining it to me and I was like, "Oh, I know all this. Like I already know." And I can only imagine like actually having a lot more medical knowledge or like even when our friend's mother got sick, just seeing Linda go into provider mode, asking the questions that she was asking, like I love it gave me um it gave like I saw into my future like damn this is going to be me in the future, you know what I mean?
hmm
I'm excited. So
I'm excited. I'm excited for
for all
you,
of us.
for both of you.
I'm excited for all of us.
We're gonna
Yes,
be
I
so.
can't wait for Linda's graduation. I'm like,
Oh yeah, I'm having a graduation party. Kathy, you're talking about you're gonna go to Columbia in December, so you may be there, you may not be there. And also, I'm going to Barbados in January. You are more than welcome to come.
Mm.
I invited Jasmine, but of course she'll be in med school. And I just realized, Kathy, that you'll be in school too. So I'll be kicking it with Rihanna, bad girl Riri, having some
Look, here's the deal.
Barbados.
Here's the deal. I am down to plan it, Kathy. I don't know. You'll be done with school when?
do
Uh,
Next
in,
December?
in December, December 17th.
Okay, what if we go for spring break to celebrate we do something big for spring break.
Do we get spring break, Linda? Well,
yeah.
well, you're gonna be done with life, but this year do we get spring break? 'Cause I don't remember.
We do get a little break here and there. I just hope that this well, you guys' spring break it matches up with Jasmine's. I don't know what schedule you're on, Jasmine. So we'll just have to compare your academic calendar to ours.
Yeah,
I'm
but that
pretty
would be
sure
fun. Like that would be like my first spring break. Watch them be like, you don't get spring break.
Like a week. But I think yours is all year round, like our like academic year. Like we don't get a break. They give us like a week or two. That's it. Like at the end of each semester, you'll get like a week, and that's it.
Girl, I don't even think we get a week. I think we get like 4 days.
Well, yeah, double check because I think you do get a little time.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think like for I think it was funny like for Christmas or for winter break she had like not even a week off. She's like, yeah. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah. We're. You sounds like you're all year round as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
yeah. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll
yeah.
figure it
You guys got any other comments, questions, or concerns?
out. I
Mental
would
health is important.
I would say that yeah, I would agree with Kathy. Mental health is important. I know a lot of times it may seem, and I'm talking to myself, like we have no time. It may seem like we have no time to get our mental health or the things that we need to do to make sure our mental health is in check, such as getting a therapist, such as going out for a walk, exercise, nutrition. But really, it's like digging yourself in a hole if you don't do that. If
Yeah,
I'm being honest.
you have to to kind of stay kind of insane or sane, not insane.
Damn, girl.
Insane, but to kind of stay sane, you have to put your mental health first.
I agree.
And break those cycles or family traumas and just the cycle of saying like mental health is not a big deal. Like mental health is very important and it shows up in literally every aspect of your life. Like if you're not
Yeah,
like
and it creeps up on you.
mm,
Yeah. In everything, in interacting with, a coworker, in interacting with your professor, in everything, if you think about it. So if you are struggling with mental health, it's okay to get help. It may feel uncomfortable, not gonna lie. It
yeah,
may feel very uncomfortable to have to reveal like really personal
Yeah.
information about yourself, but ultimately I think it's to get yourself to a better place. So
the goal is to like release it and don't keep everything bottled up because then you'll explode. Like just talk about it with someone, journal, go on walks, exercise, do what you need to do to make yourself at peace.
and I do want to emphasize because as someone who has had a lot of experience with going to therapists and going to therapy, um, I think that if you go to a therapist and they're not for you and you don't feel comfortable, I don't think it's to say that therapy is not for you. because I've been to many therapists before where it was perfectly fine, but I remember going to my last therapist and just feeling like it wasn't for me. That person wasn't for me. But had that been my first time going to therapy, I may have thought, this is not helpful. So I just want people to know that if it doesn't work out, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not for you. It just may mean that you may need to work a little harder to find someone who may be more compatible with you.
Yeah.
So,
It's a dating game. So keep
yeah.
on dating until you find your match.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks for listening to this episode of PD3 with your hosts Linda, Jasmine, and Kathy. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe at a potent dose of 3 so that you never miss an episode and your weekly dose.